Whoever won is going to tell
Exactly.
their history. So they're going to teach the conquered their history. Like, okay, well, this is your. We're going to wipe out everything that you know,
So that's
right?
why you gotta restructure your
Right,
mindset.
right.
They so mad about
Because
that. We
yeah,
Because
lost the
they
city
don't
now.
fed
so now
us
you got to
their
question
victory.
everything that you've been taught. Really,
Yeah.
like you got to question everything because these are the people that taught you, the people that conquered your people. You know, they conquered and enslaved them, and
Yeah.
you know, and this is who you are. Yo, 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 what's good, y'all? Tuning into another episode of the Dad Podcast. You know, like, do us a favor. You know,
Make
tell them what to do, Dash.
Make sure you like and subscribe. You feel me? Turn your notification on. Do whatever you got to do to, you know what I mean, so we can build this platform up even higher.
Yes, sir. We're giving y'all supreme content, so make sure y'all tap in with us. Let us know. Let us know what y'all think. You know, comment, like, subscribe. Sure. How was your week? How's your weekend, though, bro?
My weekend was kind of funny, but it was
yeah,
good.
It was good. I
It was
remember
a
you
good
was telling me
weekend,
about it. You got a little,
But yeah, I had a little situation, but my
right.
weekend it was cool. Got to see the fight.
Okay. Which one?
Haney versus I can't even say the other dude's last name, but
Haney won.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, for sure, man. We've got some good games coming on today too. Got the my Niners playing right now. I don't know what the score is, but hopefully we get this W versus Atlanta.
Late night game. Let's get it.
Yeah. Monday night football in America. Sunday night football in America.
Yeah.
For sure, man. But today we got a good one for y'all, man. We got a great guest, Michelle. I actually met her at through our good friend Tam. One of my best friends, his wife. She has a shop down on Anaheim. And actually, she was a guest here not too long ago.
The only black owned too, right?
The only black owned Botanica in California. So make sure y'all go down to Divine and Twine, check her out. But yeah, she came through, you know, and blessed us, you know, a while ago, probably a couple months ago.
One of the first persons that came on our show to show us love.
For sure. So we have, you know, I met Michelle. They're actually at her shop. We were celebrating something at her shop. Maybe it was
birthday.
I think Tracy's birthday. Yeah, and I met
birthday.
Michelle, and we was chopping it up, and she was letting us know, you know, let me know what she was doing. I was like, man, that's pretty dope. That's dope. We got to get you on the podcast and let the people know what it is that you do. So introducing Michelle and AKA
Moon Goddess.
Moon Goddess.
Moon Goddess Healing.
Moon Goddess Healing. Sure, man. So we just gonna dive right in. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Michelle?
Yes.
Background, if you don't mind sharing.
So, I'm a healer. I'm a spiritualist. And so I work with the ancestors, and this kind of I was led here through my own experiences with you know, trauma, needing to heal from childhood, needing to heal from something that happened to me back in 2014 where I had to leave my husband. And so it just kind of led me towards healing the mind and the emotions.
Right.
Therefore, the spiritual.
Right. Right. And going back to Divine and Twine, I guess one of their mottos is healing the hood, right? Or healing our community. And I feel like a lot of people don't know how scarred they are, or how much healing they probably can really need, because it's just like, you know what I mean, we got to keep going. We don't got time to worry about our past or what we going through right now. We gotta keep fighting to survive, and it's a constant everyday struggle, right? With life, you know, in general. Everything, bills, everything got to get paid. People get sick, all that, right? So
people almost take it offensive when you tell them to heal or get
take time out. Take time out to heal. It's like,
offensive.
what? I ain't got time to heal.
When
I
healing
gotta
is actually, it's a blissful blessing. Okay, especially when you can, you know, get those services in the community, like at Divine and Twine, right? We all come together and share our specialties, you know, because everybody has different areas that they need to heal in,
right,
and they need different modalities, right? So, yeah, definitely getting with the community and knowing who you live around, because that's important, especially when mental illness, you know, so rampant in our cities and our communities and whatnot. And that's what I'm big on, is the mental health and healing that part, because we can self-heal.
Right.
But you can't heal mentally without healing emotionally.
Right.
You need those have to pair. That's from Dr. Lila Africa. He says this: to heal holistically, you have to heal mind, body, and soul.
Right. Right.
Right. So
With and as far as healing, a lot of people, because we're in a Western civilization, we feel like Western medicine is the only way to heal. And I understand, but at the same time, there's different type of healing. Like you got
yes,
spiritual
of
healing, and
course,
you got all that.
and even physically,
Hmm.
right? Holistic healing. I'm healing with herbs. I'm a herbalist.
Hmm.
There's tons of tinctures, salves, oil blends that we can take
Hmm.
to heal different things like diabetes, heart
Right. Hmm.
disease, help with asthma and things like that. Help with even obesity, overweight.
Hmm.
You know, and then in turn, those same herbs, while they're helping us with things like PCOS, women be going through, emotional distress,
Hmm.
right? That affects their mind, affects the body. And now it becomes hormonal, and this is called PCOS.
Hmm.
And so we can take tinctures to heal that. Now, over a course of time, yeah, we want quick fixes now, and that's that Western
Work. Yeah.
society. That's
Yeah.
like a
Instant gratification.
Yeah.
colonialism mindset.
Right.
We can go back to the way of the ancestors and use our roots and use
Hmm.
our herbs.
Right.
Hmm.
So earlier we were talking about you mentioned the ancestors, right? And
Hmm.
I've been hearing a lot about ancestors
Yeah.
lately. So can you kind
Yeah.
of give us like, because we really, we actually brought you here. We want to learn. We want to learn everything
Yeah.
that you can offer and teach us and the community, right? So can you tell us about that?
Like a
Ancestors.
free learning session.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I
Okay.
kind of want, man. We want to
Yeah,
know,
that's
like,
really dope. And I'm really honored to even be here to be able
mhm,
to do that. Um, the ancestors, the way they come to me is it's about our immediate ancestors, our grandmothers,
mhm.
our grandfathers, aunts and uncles, things that people that have passed on, that we
that we
know.
know. Okay.
But it's also our ancestors from antiquity. It's our ancestors from the Atlantic slave trade. It's our indigenous ancestors. They all have skill and ability that lies within our DNA, and just tapping into that with some meditation. I mean, it's easier said than done,
Mhm.
but just sitting down and sitting in stillness and being quiet for a moment so you can think,
Mhm.
right? Because we have like so many distractions,
Right.
right? If we can sit down and tune into ourselves to know thyself, ancestors come through, right? They come through with wisdom, right? Just on life, period, how
Mhm.
to handle and work through your relationships. You know what I mean? Whether it be in marriage, your family, your friendships, the relationship with yourself, right? And because we got warrior ancestors. You
Right.
feel me? We got healer ancestors. We got
Mhm.
inventors. You think about everything that we have as far as the civilization, it came from our ancient ancestors, right? And so it's important to remember them, you know?
Right.
To forget them is really a disgrace.
Can I have something?
Hmm.
Yeah, it is, but I feel like you're saying 100%, but we are the most disconnected from our ancestors. They trying to bury
Yeah.
our history, because I can honestly say I don't know my mom's dad like that. I don't know
Mhm.
none of my dad's
Mhm. Right.
Hmm.
mother or
Right.
father.
Right.
Well, this is just where we just have to do research.
Yeah,
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people, honestly, they don't like the DNA testing and all that. Um,
yeah, because it's like,
I
why
don't
would I
really,
trust a
yeah,
white person
I
yeah.
really
that's
don't
trying to,
believe that.
try to
Yeah,
bury me?
I don't believe in that either.
I,
Cause
I I do understand that. You know, me personally, I feel they already have it. If
Mhm.
if you was born in a hospital, you have a social security
Sure.
card,
Mhm.
things like that. Um, they know who you are.
Definitely got track of who we are
They know
before
exactly
we
who
don't
we
really
are.
know, but
We
they
don't
know
know
who we are, and
exactly,
they keep track of us through that
but we
social
do have
and
to
all that.
know our DNA. You know
Right.
what I mean? And that comes through studying and research. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? And seeing what it is they will tell you about who you are.
Hmm.
So from my studies and from working with spirit, which it has taken me far, okay? Everything that was in my testing and in my family, my sister did the same thing,
Hmm.
okay? We did it with different companies. Okay, and it's not to say, you know, go buy the book, but you want to know what the enemy know.
Right.
You know,
For sure.
that's the art of war.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
We must know our enemy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And through knowing our enemy, we also learn a lot about ourselves.
Right.
So I do think that's important to know what it is. And I did get mine, and it was head on with what I was already going
You was
towards.
on the right
You know,
path.
because I was on the path of ancestral path long before getting any DNA.
Right.
But I mean, know thy enemy, and that's all I say to that. You know, it is a choice.
Right.
You know, the choice is like, you know, continue just to not know,
Right.
and continue on the path that we all been on, or it's like wake up and study yourself, study your people, study your enemy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look into the society and see what's going on with the people around you, and then get to know the people around you.
Right.
Start working in the community, just like how you working with me now. You know,
Right.
that's how we build. Right. That's what they call buying back the block. But see, only way to do that is to communicate and build within your community
Get
with
them
the different
relationships,
build them
Build them
relationships.
for sure.
But to build those type of relationships to buy back the block for us as people of color, then we have to be in some type of unity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the only way to be in unity with another person is to be in unity with yourself. So your temple got to be clean.
That's how
Right.
I feel the
Right,
same
right,
way because
right.
most of our black leaders beef with each other, and that shit is so crazy. To me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like competition
Right.
on
Wow, to me.
competition. No,
Yeah.
the enemy is really our competition.
Yeah.
It's not us.
Yeah.
We need to really be coming together in togetherness
For sure.
and unity and working together.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. And I had a question about, you know, like, as far as your journey to learning that, how tell us about the journey of unlearning everything that you already thought you knew about.
Habits and tactics you had that you have to come in new. Like you
Right.
said, Western
Yeah.
civilization. I'm so tired of Western civilization too.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? The medicine and everything.
Right. So unlearning all that.
I stopped with
to
the
relearn.
medicine and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what I've what I've learned is that, you know, a holistic life is a better life, right?
I don't even know what holistic means.
What is
What's
Holistic means you are fine tuning, right? Like how you said, you're pulling out all the bullshit that they don't fed your mind, right? So now you got to feed your brain, right? We got to build knowledge because the mind and the brain is two different things. So we fill our brain with information, whatever you're guided to.
Right.
You don't need no DNA test for that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But the rest of it is a fucking breadcrumb trail, you
Right.
know? So you got to go with your heart. You know what I'm saying? And if your heart takes you to the indigenous Native American, like for me, my heart has been taking me to the indigenous Native American of Virginia.
Right.
Right? Through
So-
a good friend
so-
of mine named Cassandra. She has a podcast and a website, Magic of Eden, the Pocahontas, right? I believe that's how you say that name. Yeah, the Pocahontas.
Right before you get into it, this is exactly what I wanted to touch on, right? The indigenous people that's been here, right?
Yeah.
Who are those people that's really was the indigenous people that Columbus seen when he pulled
It's
up?
everybody brown that we see.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody brown that we see.
One thing I did
the Spanish, or not really Spanish, because Spanish is from Spain.
Exactly.
You feel
Right.
me? Those are Spain. We don't, not them. We talking about our Aztec Indians, the Mayans. You know what I'm saying? The Olmec heads.
Yeah.
Those people, they're all walking around us.
Don't
Okay?
even know it.
Don't
Yeah.
even know it, and then
They
they
still
beef
here.
with us because they don't want to be related to us, but they related to us.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
we're related to them. We're all distant cousins.
Right.
Yeah, that's
You
what
feel
I'm
me?
telling people to do.
Yeah.
Like, no
There was
disrespect to
many
the Spanish.
tribes.
Right.
Like we are the talent, y'all the hard work. You feel
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Like, you feel me? That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Right.
Like y'all work hard. We make it easy.
But
Yeah.
that has been switched, and roles have been switched in that aspect
Well,
many
reversed.
different
Many
times.
times.
over
Yeah, yeah.
It's
course of
all
time. 'Cause
about.
we done
it's
been
a
a
cycle.
hard workers.
We're
Yeah.
hard
Yeah.
workers, but everything we do,
You
I'm
know.
just saying like how we
Yeah.
do it. We cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like, we cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's hard work, we gonna make that shit look
Right.
like it's cool.
Right. My thoughts on that is, throughout history, the conqueror tells the story, right? The conqueror, whoever
Exactly.
conquers,
Whoever won, yeah.
whoever won is going to tell
Exactly.
their history. So they're going to teach the conquered their history. Like, okay, well, this is we're going to wipe out everything that you know,
So
right?
that's why you gotta restructure your
Right,
mindset.
They
right.
so mad about
'Cause,
that. We
yeah,
Because
lost the
they
secret
done
now.
fed
so now
us
you got to
their
question
victory.
everything that you've been taught, really.
Yeah.
Like, you got to question everything because these are the people that taught you, the people that conquered your people. They conquered and enslaved them, and
Yeah.
and this is who you are.
Yeah.
That's not who you were, and then they probably like wiped out a whole generation of people, storytellers with the crack epidemic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Millions of people died, right? We lost a
Mm-hmm.
lot of storytellers that probably was able to
Yeah,
really
from the
tell
Black
us all
Panthers.
that, was
Because
able
I
to
was
tell
just
us.
thinking
Yeah,
about Stokely when you was talking
right.
about when you was speaking, and there, like that's why I was going to say that this is now we're going back into a recycled era,
Mhm.
right? Where Black people have an opportunity to rise, but it's not just about being Black. It's about just being indigenous to this earth,
Mhm.
period, right? Everything is our ancestors, right? So even the trees outside is an ancestor.
Yeah.
The air, the mist in the air is an ancestor. The sun is an ancestor. That's when you start going back to going back to antiquity, to the ancient Kemetic people, to
Mhm.
the Cushites, the Nubians, right?
Right.
The Tasseti. Those people, you know, they honored the Neteru. They honored nature
Mhm.
because nature is how we even come about. You know what I
Right.
mean? So that is also original mother and father.
Yeah, you got to know Egypt is something special because they tried to whitewash it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
Well, I
Look,
feel like I'm connected. I'm more West African. I feel it. I can,
Yeah.
like they said, like you feeling this. I feel
Mhm.
the
mhm.
West African in me. I
Yeah,
know, like,
Yeah.
because those people became the West Africans. Like the the Nile River, all those people were Black.
yeah. Africa is
Egypt is in
huge. Just
Africa.
like
Yeah.
they say, the Middle East. That shit is connected.
Yeah,
Right.
Saudi Arabia. All that
yeah,
shit is.
and
It's
that's
huge.
not even the Middle East. All of that was Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and Ethiopia means land of the black face.
Yeah.
Right? So everybody was of color. You know, back then it wasn't about race. It was more about class, I believe. You know what I
Yeah.
Mhm.
mean? But like, yeah, we have to go back to nature.
Mhm.
With our medicines, with our
Right.
minds, with our
Right.
hearts. This is
Right.
how we are able. Like back, I was looking at a interview about the Igbo people, which are from West Africa, and I'm Igbo too.
Mhm.
They have storytellings of going around the land and asking the land, is it okay to rest here? Right?
Mhm.
Is it okay to reside here? And if it wasn't okay to reside
They
there,
were
then they had to
travelers.
move on. They was
Igbos
travelers,
people was
just
travelers.
like the indigenous people here.
For
Right?
sure.
They are very similar in not just color, but in the way they live, because they all lived off the land.
Yeah.
So just because they are not from the same plot of land doesn't mean that they are not family. You know what I mean?
Right.
They are. We are all supposed to be family.
Mhm.
But
Right.
there's this fight for it's a fight for energy. It's
Right.
spiritual warfare.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So with so what you do is healing, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
learn the things that you do, like the different healing aspects that you do, right? They come from that Nuturu, or what the
Yes.
ancients were doing during that time. So that's
Yes.
learned from them, right?
Yes.
Passed down from generation to
Yes,
generation
this
and all
is
that.
passed down from generation to generation. Okay.
Mhm.
And this is passed down from generation to generation depending upon you.
Mhm.
Right. Now, I've been disconnected from my ancestors,
Mhm.
right? So there's no one telling me, a lot of spirituals be like, oh, I've been knowing about this since I was 6, 7 years old.
Yeah.
That ain't my case.
Mhm.
I, through my grandmother's passing, um, I acquired just like an inner knowing.
Mhm.
And it came through meditation, chanting, right? Sound therapy. reading, because that's a form of meditation. You know what I'm saying? A lot of studying and putting two and two together. This is what I do in my tarot class, because it's not just about tarot. It's about, the Pope and how the Pope connects with ancient spirituality, and how they had conquered and taken our artifacts, and they have them right now.
Yeah, museums and all that. Yeah,
Yeah, right now.
Sure.
that's why
Right now.
that's why most of the black well, like you said, colored people from around the world were celebrating.
Hmm.
They weren't
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah. You know.
Jamaica partied.
Hmm.
What's the name told them like, nah, calm it down. You know what I mean? Because Jamaica probably just got the independence from them. And the ambassador was like, no, let's calm. Them niggas partied.
Yeah.
They partied. You know what I mean? Like it was 1999.
And that's also the issue too with like racism and all that shit too. We not identifying people properly. You know what I mean? Like, one, everybody is not just black. That's this Western world that we live in.
Yeah, that's what we
You know
like
what
you said.
saying?
Something we have to de-learn and not be.
Yeah, we have to unlearn that, but also it's like we also have to know who is our enemy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And it's not just a white person. It's not that. It is the Anglo-Saxon.
Mm-hmm.
They are really who's white. They don't even consider other white people. If you Irish, you're not an Anglo-Saxon. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Those in particular, that's who runs the Vatican. That's who is running, England and all that.
Right.
Right? That's who has set up the big ass lie.
Gotcha.
Right?
Whitewash.
Right.
Yeah.
I believe it because we get taught American history and they gloss over the Oklahoma thing completely. The Tulsa thing, like it never happened. They go right to slavery, go to this, and
and we never learned that in school.
Yeah, never.
I didn't learn that till I was probably like 20-something years old.
Yeah,
And right now I homeschool my son. We've been on Christopher Columbus and him coming to meet with the indigenous people.
That's the funniest thing. How are you the person that finds something when you find cat's ear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And he thought he was in Asia.
Yeah.
And they brought smallpox, they brought disease. So that's another thing about the ancestors and the fact that we are even here. Because a lot of those indigenous people, they were large in numbers, but got real small in numbers because they died.
Yeah.
They got sick.
And they sold like you could be Indian for $5.
Well, shit. Now that part I don't necessarily know, so I'm not gonna speak on that part. But I do know that a lot of the indigenous people, because of their skin color, they were considered black.
Yeah, of course.
So they were slaves. So even when we talk about not everybody being African or not everybody being in slavery, a lot of people that was from the indigenous groups were slaves. And after like 1630 something, I don't know, they were it was abolished for indigenous people. But most of those people still stayed on plantations.
Because they didn't know no better no more.
If you think about Juneteenth, they learned about them being free 200 years or 100 years or something after.
100 years after.
So these people were still slaves.
Yeah.
And even after they became indigent servants, but there's other parts of the world where indigenous people had slaves.
Right.
So then now we talk about class, right? And so this is just this ongoing thing of separation, right? Willie Lynch type of mindset. Y'all know about the Willie Lynch letter,
right.
Putting people of color against each other because they might look a little bit different.
Right.
Yeah, and it worked.
And it worked, and it still works today.
Yeah. Yep. I make a conscious.
We here to break that.
I make a conscious decision not to even mean mug black people.
Yeah. That's where we're here to like break that cycle and change those things. And we change those things by teaching our kids differently.
Right.
Right. And by, really healing our temple,
Right.
healing the mind with the meditation, because meditation is really a tool. That ain't spirituality. Meditating is not spirituality. It's a tool like, you know, using a fork to eat,
Mm.
or your hands to eat. You got to get it in your mouth.
Something like
Right?
essential for you, right?
So,
It's like
yeah.
essential for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's essential for the mind because that's when you can hear.
Like you said, some people don't even want to. I feel like some people so scared of that.
Yeah, it's nothing to be afraid of.
I believe it. I believe it's nothing to be
If
scared
you're afraid of that, then you're afraid of yourself.
Yep.
Because then you can't sit with your own
Can't sit
thoughts.
with your soul. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that can't sit with
can't.
their own thoughts.
And that's where I come in to help an individual that cannot sit with their thoughts. I guide them on that path. Because Spirit will tailor up almost like a prescription for them. And I do it through card. I do it through checking the chakras with the pendulum, or just through the feeling and conversation I'm having with that person, right? And then they go through at least 21 days of like homework, spiritual work, And they literally, I've seen many people lives change, like how my life changed. I wasn't always spiritual in this sense, right? I always believed in a higher power,
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't even honor Jesus, because I honor my ancestors. I have ancestors that loved Jesus and honored Jesus.
Well, how you feel about them? But they seem to let attack the spirit world.
Well, I don't attack.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying I see, on the internet.
Oh, other people like attacking Jesus and things
no,
like
not
that.
attacking Jesus. The thing you're into.
I
see a lot of, I mean? I see a lot of church people attacking that.
Now let's talk about that, right? So if you are a Christian,
what are you doing judging?
Jesus is love.
Yeah.
Like Lionel Richie said, right? That song. Okay. It says he gave his life because they know not what they do.
Huh.
So basically he said they was ignorant. So I'm going to love on them and I'm going to give my life. Now, if you're a Christian and you are afraid of your ancestors, how can you be Christian? How can you love Jesus if you're not loving your fellow man? Based on what they believe and what they do. See, I believe in the same things. It's just that I practice. I put action to it. I don't just pray and get on my knees and then just get up and go on about my life. No, I pray, get on my knees, and then I put action to that prayer.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm going to light a flame to that prayer. Right? I'm going to bless the ground with water and pour libation. You know what I mean? To my ancestors so that they can quench their thirst.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they can be remembered. That's Sankofa. Right. Sankofa is when you look back and remember what happened and remember how you got here. It's a miracle everybody is here. Our peoples went through a whole lot of shit.
Yeah.
You feel me? Whether you're indigenous to this land over here or native because your family was indigenous to Africa. You know what I mean? Everybody should be in this this oneness because we've all had the same trauma, and we all need to heal from those same traumas. Because when you honor the ancestors, there's healing that they need, and we heal them by pouring libation. We heal them by healing ourselves because through us they heal. They're in our DNA.
Right.
They live in our DNA. They walk with us every day. Right.
True.
So once we start remembering them and honoring them, they can bless us with clarity.
Yeah.
You feel me? They can bless us with an open heart and wisdom to pass on to our children. Right. And metaphysics.
Right. So going back to what you do, right? I don't want to change the subject, but it's can you explain to us what Reiki healing is? I know because you do a lot of different.
Oh, Reiki, yeah,
Reiki healing. So you do a lot of different forms of healing, right?
Yeah, I do.
You do tarot card. We don't want to get all. I just want you to just.
It's just
let us know.
With the tarot, because of the symbolism, it's just Spirit has taken me through all these different modalities of healing. One, because I needed those different modalities for myself, and I needed to see them work
Right.
so that I can share them with others.
Right.
Right. And the tarot has all of that. It has the symbolism of many different religions. Okay. Even when we talk about Hebrew. Okay. Um, but the Reiki is healing with your hands. Okay. It's building wisdom, and it's building an energy, a light system within your body, which we all have. Right. And, even when I first learned about it, it was like, wow, we have these energy centers. They're imaginary, but they're really not imaginary. If you sat on the floor and you meditated with your back straight, you'll feel your kundalini rising. You'll feel it in your tailbone, right? Because this is also having to do with gravity and what holds us and keeps us standing straight up, which is within your root chakra, right? And this is where our survival is. This is where our fear lies, right? Because everything that we go through really roots in fear. If it's a negative, you know what I mean. If we talk about anger and things like that, jealousies and stuff like that, that's all in your root chakra. That's what grounds you to earth, you know. And that's red. So Reiki energy is basically going through those chakras, healing them with your hands, and using symbolism to do that. Um, but you do have to build it up over time, And I do a form of Rasa Reiki, right? And that's Kemetic Reiki. I started with Chinese Reiki, the traditional Reiki symbols and things like that. And you have energy chakras all over your body, from the soles of your feet to the top of your head. And then your main energy centers are your chakras. And it goes from, like I said, your tailbone, your survival, your sacral, which is your emotional body, right? This is where shame and all that lies. You know what I'm saying? Depressions lie in the sacral chakra. This is where women need womb healing, right? This is where men like yourselves need healing in the reproductive areas, where you can be emotional and you can cry if you need to, where you can express yourself if you need to, right? Where you can have those outlets outside of sexuality. You know what I mean? Because honestly, you know, not to be, too vulgar, but I mean, coming too much and shit is not great. You waste your vitality, right?
Right.
For the woman that you're supposed to really be giving that vitality to. You feel me?
Makes sense.
Then you absorb the negativity and emotional imbalance and the insecurities, right? From different women, if you are that man. Right, not to say y'all that man, but if you are that man that's going around here sleeping with different females, you wasting your vitality, for one. For two, you absorbing this,
That exchange, you
yes,
take it.
I don't
Yeah.
want to call
Yeah.
nobody a
Right.
bad name, but you're absorbing her energy, especially if you done picked the wrong
So-
one.
And most of these females ain't mentally ain't right.
Right.
Yeah.
Man.
You
So
know?
you all the way off.
You absorb all that. And if you are a man that's cheating and have a woman at home, and you go out and you fuck with a low vibrational woman, oh honey, you gonna take that to her. Now she might have all type of issues physically within her womb area. She might get real confused, start arguing with your ass, questioning you, because she can feel it.
Yeah.
Now you done made her emotions off balance, because woman is your source, right? Woman is matriarch, woman is God. So, yeah, throwing her off balance throws the whole house off balance.
I agree with that.
So, yeah.
Mhm.
I hope I answered your
Right.
question.
You did. And as far as you said, you spoke about alchemy, right? A little earlier. Can you tell us what that is?
Alchemy is like a form of magic, right? It's bringing properties from different herbs and roots and things like that together. It's paying attention to symbolism and our planetary, our solar system. It's science, right? It's mathematics. It's almost a conjuring to make something occur, to make something happen. Like, so if you're praying to manifest, I don't know, um, success, which podcasts,
Yep.
right? You want success and more followers and more viewers, right? So you want to attract that.
Mhm.
So now you want to start using herbs that make you more attractive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're gonna start making using roots to protect your energy and not bring it down and make you low vibrational. Right? You,
Right.
you see what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
You're gonna start taking in herbs to keep the mind clear, like rosemary and sage. You put that in some water, you gonna be having some clarity. Right? That means ideas are coming.
Right.
Right? So that's a small form of alchemy.
Okay. Okay.
Without getting into like metals and things like that. But basically using the elements and honoring the elements, honoring the north, south, the east, and the west, just like the ancestors did. This is what they did. The people of the land, they honored the land and they honored the directions and the seasons and the elements.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So if anybody know about alchemy, they'll know what I'm talking about without me, because it's
deeper than that.
Yeah.
Deeper
Yeah,
than that.
it's
Bigger
super
than
deep.
no brown.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So what's this? The source of all the information that you go? Are you just search the internet, or do you?
Source,
Or where can we find
it is
more
source, but
information?
it is reading. Like, I did bring this book. This is like one of my favorite books, right? Because he goes through even before man.
Let
in
the
this
people know
book.
what book that is.
Oh, this is spirituality. Look, I'm advertising.
Yeah.
But this is spirituality before religion, Dr. Kaba Kameen book. And I really love this book because he really shows you who your ancestors are, as far as the Kemetic and the Kushites, right? He shows you the people of the Nile. He takes you through the old kingdom and shows you that what these people look like. They look like us.
That's the thing I think that's the thing every
Narmer.
little
Yeah.
kid needs to see.
Yeah.
And I'm so mad I did. Oh, I'm so mad I didn't bring my map because I wanted y'all to see the faces, but I did. Where my phone? I did look it up because I wanted y'all to see. Dang, I don't know what happened to my phone.
You need to find that though.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that phone, but I really wanted y'all to see that those Kushites, the one that's in my mind right now is Namer. He was a pharaoh. Okay, I believe this is the 18th dynasty. They look just like us.
Yeah.
I believe it.
They look just like us, and this is before. This is what I wanted to show you on my phone because I don't remember dates all like that. But this is before the first pope. Okay,
Yeah.
before the first pope, our people were thriving along the Nile. Okay, and this is it's a duality to learn from that. Yes, we come from huge inventors, and we can do that again, but we must have an equilibrium. We must have balance because obviously something occurred back then that made them maybe arrogant because they lost something. And they lost something that we are really seeking to find. You feel me? And we have to find it. And we need to do it like ASAP.
Right.
And where I'm going with this is now from spirit, because you asked me what was my source. So first and foremost, my source is the Most High. Okay? The Most High go by many names.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right? If we want to look at religion, you feel me?
Yeah.
You can call the Most High whatever you want.
Right.
Whatever gets you to that alignment for yourself. So if that alignment for yourself gonna come through Jesus, then go through Jesus, be Christian. Right? For me, that alignment didn't sit true for me because I go off of truth. I
Because
need
even the
facts.
Bible acknowledge other gods.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. God go by many names.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So think of source as a being, like a person, right? And the gods, the Neteru, or even the Orishas, they are the limbs of God.
God body.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God body, right? Elegua would be like the hand of God, I believe. But these are the elements or the limbs of source.
Right.
You know
So
what I'm
it's all
saying?
connected.
So source is going to send what you need down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whether it be through strength or courage or love or balance, whatever it is that you need, source is going to provide that. So for me, my source sends me to people like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Dr. Kaba Kamin, you know, Dr. Ben, right? Anthony Broder. Anthony Broder, that's one to hit.
Yeah.
Gotta get some Anthony Broder. The Broder files, they start letting you know that you come from royalty. And so if everyone will start thinking of themselves as royalty and thinking of themselves in a high light, then you're going to feed your brain.
That's how I always
Right.
felt of myself. Like, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
always felt like,
Royalty, right?
yeah, I always felt like, you know what I mean?
You feel like a king?
All the time.
Yeah.
So if you feel like a king, then you going to fill your brain like a king would. Because a king got to know everything.
And that's
You
how
know
I
what I
feel
mean?
about shit. I like to know.
You gotta
I
know
like
stuff.
to know, yeah.
Searching for knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we must be scribes. We have to write our shit down. This is because you know most people are auditory, so you go and listen, right? Then you visual, you got to see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now you got to be kinesthetic. You got to put movement to it and write that shit down.
Yeah.
So now you can retain the information. And like I said,
That's one thing I got to get into.
herbs do the trick. Rosemary, sage, and some water. You ain't even got to heat it up. Just sit it in some water and acquire the taste because it is a herb. It's not gonna taste like juice or nothing. You know what I mean?
Got a little bitter taste to it.
Yeah,
but it's
it'll
good,
have a
man.
little something, but just acquire that
People
taste.
drink alcohol. I don't want to hear that.
Right.
Yeah, but you know, I'm
drink
telling you, people don't like drinking no herbs.
Right? People don't want it. People don't like the healthy.
Yeah.
So that's what.
Yeah,
I used to drink. Me and my girl used to drink these teas, and I used to be so mad. Like, this shit nasty. People like, but you'll take a shot. Like, all right, yes, you're right.
yeah. Man,
Right.
your girl, right? Drink that tea.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
make that tea potent.
Right.
You know, and get used to those herbs because they do they change things. They help change the perspective. And that's essentially what we talking about, period, here is a change in perspective
For sure.
in different areas.
Right.
And seeing God in yourself.
Yeah.
So if you feel like royalty and you feel like a king and I see a king here, then that means I see the God in you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And hopefully you recognize and see the goddess and the God in me.
sure.
Because, now we got to talk about duality. So we all have male and female sides. But when the female, like Anthony Broder says, that when the female is diminished, then it diminishes the masculine by 50%, even more. You know what I'm saying? So now most people are operating on low vibrational energy in their masculine and feminine. That's why we have overly feminine men or overly masculine women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that. So
Appreciate that. We
Yeah.
appreciate that. One last thing I want to touch on, right, is your healing circle. So can you tell us about that and how, people could go to your healing circles, or how can they get in touch with you about it? Just give us like an outlook on like how that goes as far
Yeah.
as what you do during the healing circles and how they could get in touch with you about the healing circle.
Okay. So the healing circles, I've been doing that for a little over a year. I have taken about a month and a half break on it. So the next one will be in November, I believe around the 8th.
Okay.
And basically we all come together at the beach in Long Beach at the Bluff Park, right off of Ocean Boulevard and Loma.
Yeah.
And we come together and I read everyone's chakras. I give everyone like a little reading. And if I've given one reading, I may not do it again for another 3 months or something, just so you could work through what we talked about. And it's kind of like a therapy session, you know. I do the reading. Everyone lays down, get comfortable. We do some breathing exercises. Then we do sound therapy. As we're doing the sound therapy, I go around to each individual and I fine tune the area that was out of balance or the area that needed some attunement or some activation, right? So if it's in the womb on a man or a woman, I may tell the woman, like, start working on, loving yourself and pampering yourself a little bit more. Or maybe take a yoni steam. It just depends on what that person is kind of like going through. If it's a man, I may be able to tell, that he ain't, like, maybe he ain't had sex in a while.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And now that is affecting him emotionally and now mentally,
Mhm.
because he needs the release, And now this has become like maybe an ongoing thing or an ongoing thought
Mhm.
of something that needs to be tamed. You
Yeah.
feel me? So,
A lot of
Right.
testosterone.
yeah, that part.
Right.
So I'll be able to sense that,
Mhm.
and the pendulum. You'll be able, the person be able to see um, where it's going and see the answers that the pendulum is giving, which is spirit giving, which is their energy,
Mhm.
right? Which is the God in them
Right.
connecting with the God in me to tell me what's going on with them. You feel what I'm
Wow. Wow.
saying?
That's dope.
So yeah, and then they all lay down. I go around and I fine tune them, and after that, then we get to burning what they want to release.
Mhm.
And we go through like a ritual to burn whatever needs to be released, whatever needs to be let go of. If it's a new moon, then we probably plant seeds, like we've planted seeds, or do things to invite, right? And so in a sense, it's a sound therapy
Mhm.
slash ritual.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's $20. I usually do it at 7 p.m. to 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. But the time might change a little bit because it's getting colder.
Okay.
But anybody that's interested, they could just follow me on Moon Goddess Healing,
Mhm.
1111 on IG.
Okay. Moon
And
God is sitting
yeah.
right here.
And just follow me there. And I always bring up I post the flyer. Like if you go down, you'll see what it looked like. I always use the same flyer. It's further down. Right here where it says full moon circle.
Oh, right there.
Yeah. And so what I do is I usually bring items that's tailored to that full moon, right?
Mhm.
So whatever it is that everybody needs at that time, I'll have it. And so
Okay.
each full moon, it tends to change up on what's needed.
Mhm.
But I always kind of bring like exactly what's what's needed.
Okay.
So, like,
Yeah.
question. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
So you have the moon. So it's an Aquarius moon that day.
Yeah. No, so this time this is a Aquarius moon. So the next full moon will be, I believe, in Taurus. So I'll always let you know what kind of moon it is that's coming up, what needs to be focused on.
What is
We
it? What is that? I hear that a
what?
lot. Like like zodiac signs or something like.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
oh, you're this, but what is
Yeah.
your moon? What is your rising? Because
Yeah.
my birthday is in August. I'm a Leo,
Okay. Oh,
and then
okay.
they
I'm
be like,
feeling it.
"What's your moon? What's your moon?" And I'm like,
Right.
Well,
I
you got,
also heard I have
know
a
what?
Libra or something.
I can show you on your phone how to get your moon, your sun, moon, and rising.
Mhm.
It is important,
Yeah.
right? Because your sun is talking about your personality, and of course, what we all know about the sun.
Mhm.
But the moon is talking about your emotional and what's hidden,
Mhm.
and that is kind of what I tap into. I tap into the moon side of someone, those things that's hidden, that shit that no one likes to talk about.
Mhm.
um, they would have a safe space to talk about that with me. And because usually when I start working with someone, I become their like personal spiritualist.
Okay.
So there's always a connection with me, always
Mhm.
a way to contact me, and for different situations and things like that.
So,
you know, products like the floor wash I brought. You know, that's something that's called sour power. It gets rid of anything sour, right? But this is where we start talking about magic and pulling things together. You know what I mean? It's like cooking a pot of gumbo, you know, or cooking a pot of black eyed peas. You know, it's cooking up some action. You feel me? Like that.
Getting stuff, blending it in, getting it all together.
Making it happen.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Making it happen.
Do you have a YouTube channel? Or,
I do.
I think you. Okay,
I do
good,
have
good,
one.
good, good.
I should be advertising.
You should be
this
on that
shit.
YouTube.
I know.
Yeah,
I need to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like this is a really cool setup. I have something like this at home, but I probably need help.
Yeah.
Because I'm not super techie, you know. But yeah, I have a bunch of things to share and talk about. So yeah.
I think YouTube would be dope if you know, keep some content going and give. It's a lot of information we got. We got a great amount of information.
Yeah.
I know you full of it too, full of information. So
good. I'm
we
happy.
could we could definitely, people can learn from you. So we definitely.
You got me like, I'm finna for sure like make some calls. Like, who is it? I need to know these people. Like, I'm serious. Like,
and I'll send you books. I couldn't bring all my books, but I can send y'all pictures of different books to get. Like this is that Anthony Broder and Dr. Cabo Camino. Those are like my favorite. As far as who brought me into this, you know, he has lectures from like 1994.
I think I follow him on IG too. He got a lot of info.
But yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it's all science though.
All right. Well, once again, we want to thank you for coming and
thank
sharing.
You for having me.
Tell them where they can find you at again.
Let them know where they can find you at.
Instagram, Moon Goddess Healing 1111, and then YouTube. Moon Goddess Healing 1111 IG. I gotta get the YouTube. I forgot it.
Okay. You can add the link to
you can add the link to your YouTube. We'll put up the link too.
Okay,
we'll put up a link too.
Thank you.
But thanks for coming through and let our people know, D.A.D podcast, like, subscribe. Let them know, Dad.
Drips and D.A.D, they get better. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
One love. Oh yeah, happy birthday, D.A.D. Happy birthday, man. Happy belated birthday, man. His birthday was this weekend.
That's probably why you ain't here.
Yeah, that's why you ain't here.